One of the central questions facing advanced economies is how to build an inclusive prosperity. A distinguished panel from the Center for American Progress, comprising of economists and public policymakers, has produced an important report on this very question. And here with me is the co-chair, the former Treasury Secretary of America, and FT columnist Larry Summers. Larry, why is this question of inclusive prosperity and the urgent need to build a thriving middle class so acute 6 years after the financial crisis?
Start with, Lionel, it's always acute. Successful societies have thriving middle classes. Unsuccessful societies don't. While we have avoided depression, it has not yet been the case that ordinary citizens in most of our countries have seen real progress in their lives. In the United States, it's been nearly a generation where median family incomes have not changed much at all. Here in Britain, even 7 years after the previous peak, GDP has only recently gotten past its previous peak, and the benefits of the economic growth have flowed disproportionately to those at the very high end. So there's a crucial challenge for us in finding ways of both making sure that our economies grow more rapidly and that the benefits of that growth flow to most of our citizens.
So just let me get this right. This was a problem, in other words, this question of the squeezed middle, during your term as Treasury Secretary, and indeed when you were working at the Treasury in the 1990s, when I thought all boats were rising on the back of the tech boom.
Actually, Lionel, and I think this is due to many factors, but if you look at the last 25 years, the 1 5-year period where the middle class saw real progress in the United States was between 1995 and 2000.
The internet bubble.
And some of it was undoubtedly related to the bubble. Some of it was related to the strong economy that President Clinton was able to put in place. Some of it was the result of an economic strategy that systematically focused on increasing the rate of growth.
So today, if we're looking forward, what do you think the most effective policy mechanisms are to encourage growth which will raise the incomes of the middle class and get to a thriving
Start with, you need a high-pressure economy with adequate demand. That means adequate public infrastructure investment. There is no reason at all why this should be the moment when net investment, that is correcting for depreciation, that which wears out, public investment in the United States should be close to zero.
Yeah.
As I've said many times, if a moment when we can borrow money at 1.7% in the United States and 1.5% in the United Kingdom is not the moment to fix Kennedy Airport and to rebuild Britain's infrastructure, I don't know when that moment will ever come.
And other concrete measures that could be taken?
Public investment is one crucial component. Second crucial component is adequately protecting workers. That means strong minimum wages. That means protecting collective bargaining. And crucially, international cooperation has to be about creating races to the top rather than to the bottom. We cannot create an open economy for the purpose of allowing international competition to erode the ability to achieve public purpose. Our progress in international integration has to be measured with our progress in international public cooperation if it is to really work for the middle class.
The European Central Bank this week is widely expected to take the unprecedented step of introducing quantitative monetary easing. Do you think that that is going to do the trick, stimulate demand, get credit moving, and lift the incomes of the middle class?
I support quantitative easing. The specter of deflation hangs over the industrial world. At Davos a year ago, interest rates were twice as high in much of Europe as they are today, and everyone was worried about their increasing. In fact, they have come way down, as they have in my country. Nowhere in the industrial world is expected inflation over a 10-year period at target levels. That suggests that growth strategies involving monetary action, but involving fiscal steps and involving steps to encourage private investment as well, has to be the priority for the discussion. The era of central bank improvisation as principal growth strategy is coming to an end. We need to look much more broadly at the role of the public sector and the role of public policy in supporting private investment if we are to escape the deflation and liquidity trap, which now gives increasing prospect of causing secular stagnation.
Larry Summers, thank you very much.